Hi, I'm Paul Solt from Super Easy Apps, and I haven't made a video in a long time. Not a technical video. I've got a couple Apple Watch videos, and those actually make a lot more money than you'd think. But I haven't made any videos about technology, and so I want to change that this month. I've been working full time for the past 5 years in the iOS development field. So I was teaching initially for Lambda School. That was about 2 years I worked for them. They're now called Bloom Tech, but I got laid off when they shut down the iPhone app program. And so then I was looking for a new job. I did some contract work, but I didn't really feel like I wanted to manage subcontractors. I enjoy contract work when it's just me, but when I have to manage people in the project that I picked up, it just wasn't a good fit. Next, I worked for GoPro, and I worked for GoPro for 3 years. So I started there in 2021. And it was a great experience. I got to work on a lot of different things. I worked on the camera screen. So if you're looking at the GoPro Quick app, it is this camera screen right here. So that's what I worked on. And that's, what does that look like? There's only one screenshot I can show from here, but that allows you to connect to the GoPro cameras, and you can remotely control the cameras. You can download the media. So I worked on revamping a lot of the UI here on our camera chooser screens, as well as a lot of bug fixes to talk to our cameras and and supporting our older cameras as well. So that was GoPro. I'm not there anymore, and I'm looking to do some videos that might help you. There's some ideas I have for content, but I kind of want to throw some ideas out there and sort of see what sticks. And so some of that is I want to take a month or two, I'm not sure how long, where I can just work on some of my own apps as well as create some content that's useful for you or content that's interesting to you. And one of those things that I really want to do, this is an old app, but this is from 2012. It's called Photo Table. I worked on this with two other students from RIT. We published it. It probably made $12,000, and it's been off the App Store for a while because I haven't updated the APIs. So let's see. We do see it here. And it's not on the App Store. I have a bunch of APIs that are integrated with. Some of those APIs are no longer supported, so I had to pull them out, and I'm in the process of trying to get this back on the App Store, clean up the design a little bit. I've got to clean up this landing page. All of the content and marketing needs to be cleaned up, and I just have had no time for that. So that's one of my goals this week. And just to sort of give you an idea, these are all the apps that I've published, but not all of them are available anymore in the App Store. The only one that's actually for sale is Bomb Dodge on iOS, and then on macOS, I have Super Easy Timer. Those are the two apps, and I really want to get Photo Table out. This one it's made the most money. I think Super Easy Timer is going to potentially make more money, but both of them are fun apps to work on. Now, some of these analytics, and I can talk more about those in a different video, aren't entirely accurate because a lot of my apps came on the App Store before these analytics existed. And so the data is just not there. And I think I'd have to dig for historical data to figure it out. But this app had hundreds of thousands of downloads. I did a couple promotions. And so I did a couple free promotions, which definitely got more users into the app. And I also had a free version of this app. And those are different discussions we could talk about. But it's just kind of cool to see. Right now, you can only see that it has about $700 in sales over the past series of years. What is this? 8 years. But it's been on the App Store much longer than that. The other one is Super Easy Timer. This one, the analytics are a little bit more up to date, though I still think something's off from when we published it, and I don't know exactly what. The proceeds is definitely not right because this app has made probably $6,000 plus. I don't remember if that's before Apple's cut. Here we can see that it shows $4,700. And so that's kind of exciting. So I'm excited to work on this stuff again. I've got some of this code back up. A lot of this is Objective-C, so some of my initial content might be Objective-C related. I've been fixing bugs and updating things. I've got a lot of deprecations to deal with. Some of them are important. Some of them are less important. I'm trying to prioritize what makes sense. So for the photo table app, I just want to show you what that looks like. I'm going to bring my iPad over here and switch over to it. And so here is the photo table app. I've been working on this button down in the bottom left corner. This allows me to select files, take photos, and choose photos. So I've updated this to use the new popover buttons. Previously, I was using this old style popover, which you can see over here. I have to update. So that needs to be updated. That whole flow is not great. And one of the other things that you notice here is this app came out in 2012, and I haven't really updated it probably since 2014 or 15, maybe older. So dark mode didn't exist, and that's what you're seeing right here. It is a little bit clashy. The colors don't really make sense. The manage album title you can see is the wrong color. And so it does need a little bit of love, but this is a fun app to sort of play around with. This was my dog, Ro. She passed away a few years ago, but she was an awesome dog to run with. She was very photogenic, very cute, and I miss her. But yeah, she makes really good photos, and the memories are really nice to sort of see here. So that is Photo Table. And what I want to do is see if there's something that resonates with you, see if there's something that you want to learn. So I worked for Apple, Microsoft, the government. I worked for some smaller companies like Flux Data and Positive Science doing contract work. And then I worked for Lambda School, which is now Bloom Tech, and most recently GoPro. So I'm looking for a new opportunity, but in the meantime, as I prepare for that opportunity, I figured I might as well work on some of my apps and help you with whatever you want. What's just going to be interesting to you. So what I need your help with is to have you comment down below this video or reply to my email if you get my email of what you want to learn or what would be beneficial or where I could spend some time so that I could help you continue your career. So whether that's job negotiations and salary, I was making over $200,000 with GoPro, and that was a combination of base salary, that was bonus, and that was RSUs, which are restricted stock units. Those started off really good, but when GoPro's stock price dropped, they became less valuable, and I don't know if it's going to go up. So stock is always a risk, and holding on to them is always a risk. So I lost some money by holding on to some of those stocks, but I also made a good amount of money working at GoPro. So I do appreciate that, and I really enjoyed my time there. So no hard feelings. I was there because I wanted to make the experience better. So if that's the type of thing that you want to learn, let me know and comment down below. I can also help with portfolio building or app reviews if you want me to look at apps or discuss certain best practices. There's UI prototyping that I really love doing. That's why I love hackathons so much. It just gives me a chance to sort of reimagine a user interface, reimagine an experience, and get feedback from other people on how that's working. So a lot of the code that you're going to see that I'm going to be working on with some of my older apps is going to be Objective-C and a little bit of Swift as I sort of integrate new stuff, but some of it's just maintenance. And we had a lot of Objective-C code at GoPro, and you just have to be open to working in that type of code base. You try to improve it. You try to transition to Swift when you can, but it's not always possible because it's a big code base. So that's one of those other challenges when you work for a bigger company, is that it's not always going to be in the latest programming language, and you have to learn multiple languages. There's other things like UIKit and Swift UI. All the new UI stuff I was doing was in Swift UI. That had some challenges, but we were able to work through a lot of those challenges. And there was still a lot of legacy UI. So being able to maintain storyboard files and being able to maintain UIKit that was done programmatically, and even like frame-based UI, like there's the whole gamut when you've got a big code base like that. So those are things that we can talk about I love Swift UI, but I find sometimes it's frustrating to work with because it doesn't always do what I want it to do, and I know how to do that in UI Kit. So it's kind of a balance, and sometimes you hit your head against the wall a few times until you figure it out. The other thing I can talk about is maintaining existing apps or how to publish an app, how to get it onto test flight. Right now, I can't get my app Photo Table onto test flight until I get it back on the App Store, which feels like a chicken and the egg problem. So I'm going to have to get it passing app review before I can have a beta link for you to try out if you want to test it out. And the other thing that I think is really interesting is app pricing, whether it's subscription pricing, whether it's one-off pricing, how you craft that, how you manage that. There's a lot of different things that you can do. And I think you have to think a little bit different about the value that your customers are getting out of the software and what value that they're providing you as the developer. So if that's interesting, let me know. The last thing is prioritizing features and bugs. You're always going to have bugs. Software is never perfect. And you have to manage and figure out if you're working on your own apps or if you're working on a company's app, how important are these bugs? And sometimes we have to take a step back. Like sometimes we get into the weeds too much and we lose sight of where we are. And so that's one of those skills that I can also talk about of how do you rate the severity of something? Is it important? Is it impactful? There's a lot of bugs in Photo Table that I'm probably not going to fix. I just need to get it to pass App Store review. If I can do that, then I can move on to my next app. And then if Photo Table starts getting downloads and people are buying it, then I can worry about adding new features to it. But at this point in time, I just want to get it on the store because I want to use it with my daughter's photos. So I have some motivation that's personal, and you might have that own motivation for your own apps. I know a lot of you just want to make an app because it's fun. And a lot of you want to make an app to make some side income, which is totally possible. And others want to switch into the iPhone or app development career path. And that's also great because you can get a really nice paying job and you can get out of debt and you can buy nice things. So I've sort of lived the spectrum of not having a whole lot of money because I was focused on my own thing, as well as doing contract work, as well as working for big companies. If anything is interesting, give this video a like and comment down below if you have a question that you want or a topic that you want me to talk about in a future video. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you in the next video.